Have you ever eaten a piece of fruit thinking it was a healthy choice, only to feel strange afterward? Maybe dizzy, bloated, or just off? As we age, even the foods we've loved for years can start working against us, especially when it comes to fruit. Certain fruits may raise blood sugar, upset your digestion, or even interfere with the medications. In today's video, we'll reveal 7 fruits seniors should avoid, and more importantly, safer, delicious alternatives that support your health, not harm it. If you care about aging well and staying informed, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to Nutrition for Seniors, and tap the bell so you never miss a tip that could protect your health. Now let's start with one tropical fruit that could do serious harm to your brain and kidneys. 1. Bananas, the hidden heart, risk and a familiar appeal. A few months ago, I got a call from my friend James. He's 74, sharp as a tack, and the kind of guy who starts every morning with a brisk walk and a banana. It's my daily fuel, he always said, but this time he wasn't calling to chat about his morning routine. He'd just gotten home from the hospital. His heart had started racing out of nowhere. The doctors told him his potassium levels were dangerously high. Can you guess what the culprit was? That sweet, innocent banana. Now, don't get me wrong, bananas can be a good source of energy. They're loaded with potassium, which helps your muscles move and your heart beat properly. But here's the thing. As we get older, our kidneys naturally slow down. And when kidneys can't filter potassium efficiently, it builds up in the bloodstream. That's when things get dangerous. Too much potassium, a condition called hyperkalemia, can cause irregular heartbeats, muscle weakness, fatigue, and in serious cases, even cardiac arrest. James had no idea that eating 2 bananas a day, something he'd done for years, could suddenly put his heart at risk. Bananas also pack quite a bit of natural sugar and fast-digesting carbs, which can spike blood sugar in people managing diabetes or insulin resistance, both common after age 65. You might feel an energy burst at first, but it's often followed by a crash, leaving you more tired than before. So what's the better way to enjoy bananas without the risks? For starters, moderation is key. If you love bananas, consider eating just half at a time, and don't eat it on an empty stomach. Pairing it with a source of protein, like a spoonful of peanut butter or a small piece of cheese, helps slow down the sugar absorption. Personally, I've swapped my morning banana for a few strawberries or a small bowl of steel-cut oats, which give me a steadier stream of energy. And you know what's interesting? James did the same. After cutting back to half a banana and only a few times a week, his potassium levels returned to normal, and no more scary heart palpitations. Sometimes it's the smallest changes that make the biggest difference. Speaking of unexpected effects, there's another fruit that many people eat to soothe their digestion. But for seniors, it may actually stir up more trouble than it solves. Let's talk about that next. 2. Papaya, the digestive helper that sometimes hurts. A friend of mine, Helen, started adding papaya to her breakfast every morning. She heard it could help with digestion, and at first it seemed like a dream. Her bloating eased, and she felt lighter. But within a few weeks, she started feeling off. Her blood pressure meds weren't working quite the same, and her blood sugar readings were swinging up and down. Eventually, her doctor asked what had changed in her diet, and when she mentioned the papaya, everything clicked. Papaya contains an enzyme called papain, which does help break down protein and can ease digestion. But that same enzyme can also interfere with medications, especially blood thinners like warfarin, and even some diabetes and antibiotic medications. In Helen's case, it was enhancing the effect of her meds, throwing her entire system off balance. And there's something else not everyone knows. Papaya has a known link to latex allergies. If you've ever had a reaction to latex, even something as mild as a rash from rubber gloves, you may be sensitive to papaya too. The body can't always tell the difference, and reactions can range from mouth itching to serious breathing problems. I once saw a patient experience hives and wheezing just from eating half a bowl of papaya. What's more, while papaya is praised for helping digestion, it can actually be irritating for people with acid reflux or sensitive stomachs, which is increasingly common with age. For Helen, she realized the very fruit she thought was healing her gut was making her feel worse. So what's a safer, more reliable way to support your digestion? I often recommend probiotic-rich plain yogurt, which gently nourishes the gut microbiome. A warm cup of ginger tea after meals can soothe the stomach and reduce gas or bloating. Even a few slices of apple or pear can help thanks to their fiber content and mild nature. If you still want to enjoy papaya, do it in small portions, just a few pieces, and always speak with your doctor if you're on regular medications. Next, let's talk about a fruit we often crave during warm weather. It's hydrating, sweet, and seems innocent, but it can sneak up on your heart and kidneys if you're not careful. 3. Watermelon, the summertime treat that can tip your balance. Every summer, my neighbor Betty puts out a big bowl of chilled watermelon cubes on her front porch. It's her tradition, a sweet way to cool off in the Arizona heat. One year, she started eating it every day, thinking, it's mostly water. How could it possibly be bad for me? But after a few weeks, she noticed swelling in her ankles and shortness of breath. Her doctor said something unexpected. The watermelon was overloading her system. You see, while watermelon is over 90% water, it also contains a high amount of natural sugar and potassium. That makes it a tricky food for older adults, especially those managing heart conditions, kidney disease, or diabetes. As we age, our kidneys aren't as efficient at filtering excess potassium. That can lead to fluid retention and even a dangerous condition called hyperkalemia, too much potassium in the blood. Betty was shocked. She'd always thought of watermelon as safe. There's also the blood sugar factor. Despite being watery, watermelon has a high glycemic index, meaning it can spike blood sugar almost as fast as soda. If you're insulin resistant or diabetic, this can leave you feeling exhausted, foggy, or even dizzy. I've seen it happen too many times, and it's heartbreaking when someone is just trying to stay healthy. That doesn't mean you can never enjoy watermelon again. Just be mindful. Try limiting your portion to half a cup, and always eat it with something that slows digestion, like a handful of almonds or a slice of cheese. Personally, I love infusing water with cucumber and mint. It's just as refreshing and far kinder to your body. Frozen berries are another smart swap. Sweet, cooling, and better for blood sugar control. Now let's move on to a trendy fruit that's found its way into smoothies and toast everywhere, but isn't as innocent as it seems. 4. Avocados. A superfood that's not always super. Robert, one of my most active friends, used to swear by avocado toast every morning, without fail. He'd read that avocados were packed with healthy fats and figured it was a perfect breakfast. But a few months in, he started gaining weight and felt more sluggish than usual. After a checkup, his doctor mentioned something he hadn't considered: calories and potassium. Avocados do have great nutrients. They're rich in monounsaturated fats, fiber, and vitamins like K and E, but they're also incredibly calorie dense. One medium avocado has around 240 calories. For seniors with slower metabolism, that adds up quickly. Robert gained 12 pounds in just 3 months, which worsened his joint pain and energy levels. But the real surprise? Avocados can interfere with medications. Their high vitamin K content can reduce the effectiveness of blood thinners, increasing the risk of clotting. They also contain potassium, not as much as bananas or watermelon, but still enough to be a concern for those with kidney issues. And let's not forget about the potential latex allergy connection. I've seen older patients develop itching, rashes, or worse after eating avocado due to that similarity. Instead of ditching it completely, enjoy avocado in moderation, no more than 1/4 fruit a day. Better yet, swap it out sometimes for a drizzle of olive oil or a few walnuts. Both give you the good fats your heart needs without the same risks. Next up, a fruit we often associate with breakfast and vitamin C, but it might be giving you more heartburn than health. 5. Oranges, citrus sunshine that may burn from the inside. Margaret used to start every day with a tall glass of fresh, squeezed orange juice. "It wakes me up," she'd say. But as she got older, she started waking up at night instead, with heartburn, a burning throat, and that uncomfortable bloated feeling. After a visit to her doctor, she learned that oranges, while packed with vitamin C, are one of the most acidic fruits out there. As we age, our digestive muscles weaken, especially the one that keeps stomach acid where it belongs. Citrus fruits like oranges can trigger acid reflux and worsen GERD symptoms. In fact, over 60% of seniors report some form of reflux, and oranges are often a hidden culprit. Oranges also interfere with over 50 medications, including blood pressure meds, statins, and antidepressants. The acidity can alter how your body absorbs these drugs, sometimes reducing their effect or causing side effects. And if that weren't enough, the high acid content also wears down tooth enamel, which becomes thinner and more sensitive with age. Instead of giving up on vitamin C, try swapping in red bell peppers. They actually have more vitamin C than oranges and are much gentler on the stomach. Kiwi is another great option, full of nutrients but with a lower acid load. And if you must have orange juice, dilute it with water and never drink it on an empty stomach. Now, from sour to sweet, let's talk about a tiny fruit with a surprisingly big impact on your health. 6. Grapes, sweet, simple, and surprisingly risky. Patricia thought she was making a healthy change. She swapped her afternoon cookies for a bowl of grapes, sweet, juicy, and bite-sized. But within weeks, her energy dropped, her mood felt off, and her vision blurred. What she didn't realize was that grapes, while natural, are packed with sugar and surprisingly hard on the body if you're not careful. Just 1 cup of grapes contains the same amount of sugar as 4 sugar cubes. For seniors with pre-diabetes or diabetes, which includes nearly half of Americans over 65, this can trigger blood sugar spikes, energy crashes, and long-term complications. Grapes also have a high glycemic load, meaning they enter the bloodstream quickly and raise insulin levels fast. But that's not all. Grapes are also one of the top choking hazards for older adults. Their round, slippery shape makes them difficult to chew and easy to inhale, especially for people with slower swallowing reflexes. Emergency rooms have seen a spike in choking incidents involving grapes, especially among seniors who eat them whole. If you love grapes, there's no need to give them up, but eat them wisely. Always cut them into quarters and limit your serving to about 6 pieces at a time. Even better, choose alternatives like blueberries or raspberries, lower in sugar, rich in brain-boosting antioxidants, and easier to chew. Finally, let's wrap things up with a fruit that looks stunning on a plate, but could silently poison your nervous system. 7. Starfruit. Exotic, elegant, and dangerously misunderstood. I once met a retired chef named John who loved experimenting with tropical fruits. His favorite? Starfruit. It's bright, beautiful, and adds flair to any dish. He started blending it into his smoothies every morning. But after a few weeks, he began experiencing memory lapses, dizziness, and extreme fatigue. Eventually, he collapsed at home and ended up in the hospital. The cause? Neurotoxicity triggered by the caramboxin in starfruit, something his mildly impaired kidneys couldn't filter out. Starfruit contains a compound that healthy kidneys can eliminate, but even slightly reduced kidney function can lead to a dangerous buildup in the body. For seniors, 1 in 3 of whom have some degree of kidney decline, this fruit can trigger seizures, vomiting, confusion, or even coma. John never suspected that something so pretty could be so dangerous. If you're craving something tropical, try dragon fruit or Asian pears instead. They're refreshing, low in toxins, and kidney-friendly. I also love chilled slices of kiwi or melon. They give you that exotic flair without the risk. So now that we've unwrapped these surprising fruit facts, let's pull it all together with a few key takeaways. So there you have it. 7 fruits that may not be as harmless as they seem, especially as we age. Each one has its own set of risks, from blood sugar spikes to medication interference, and even dangerous effects on your kidneys or heart. But here's the good news. You don't have to give up fruit altogether. In fact, with the right choices, fruit can still be a beautiful, healing part of your daily life. By understanding how your body changes over time, you can make smarter decisions, swapping high-sugar grapes for antioxidant-rich berries, or replacing acidic oranges with gentle, vitamin-packed kiwi. Even a simple switch like cutting bananas in half or enjoying avocado in moderation can support your energy, digestion, and heart health in meaningful ways. Remember, change doesn't have to be overwhelming. It starts with awareness. It starts with 1 bite. You're not alone on this journey. And every small shift you make today adds up to a stronger, more vibrant tomorrow. If this video helped you learn something new or rethink a few things in your kitchen, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below. Tell me what surprised you most, or share your own experience with any of these fruits. Your story could inspire someone else on their health journey too. And if you'd like more natural health tips made just for seniors, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss an update. This community is growing, and you belong here. Let's keep learning, growing, and supporting one another, one small change at a time.